Looks like you guys are in the middle of something important.
Well, it's giving my stepson the benefit of my sage advice.
About what?
How to be a good brother.
Shouldn't you be having that conversation with Morgan?
What do you mean?
You're the younger brother.
Oh, well, that's true. But I was just telling Michael that, I learned a lot by watching what my older brother did and what he didn't do.
Why are you talking to Michael about Jerry?
So you need to wake up. Because if you don't, Jason is going to come forward as the father. And that will kill my brother. How long have you been standing there?
Long enough.
You do the whole hear no evil, see no evil thing really well, Jason. I guess that's years of practice. But I meant what I know you heard me say. Stay away from Elizabeth.
As you can see, the small stone cold one is resting snug and comfortable.
So interesting with the computer, hmm? Let's see. Let's go. Come on. Give it to me, Jason. Give me. Is there a problem?
We've isolated the compound that makes the counteragent work. The reason why it only lasts for 24 hours is that Craig has been injecting with a very low dose. We think if we inject you with the compound at a higher dose, it should, theoretically, eliminate the poison from your body. Permanently.
Okay, so that's the good news, and if your theory's wrong?
Bombarding your body with such a high dose could kill you. Resuscitation would be useless, and you might not make it.
Look, I'm sorry, Nicholas, but it's only prognosis.
I mean, unfortunately, we don't have any more time to do any more research.
Robin, none of this matters. I'll take my chances. I just want this to be over.
Okay, but you have to understand you are risking your life. Don't you want to think about this first? Talk to Emily?
She is invested. She probably deserves some input.
Where is she anyway?
She's with her family. She doesn't even know I checked in.
Well, maybe now would be a really good time to call her.
No, Robin, I'd rather not have her watch me die if it comes to that, and I can no longer stand by and watch this bastard Craig manipulate her. This ends today. So give me the shot.
You know, if you insist on fretting, you should at least prioritize your worries.
What?
Well, Nicholas won't be needing a dose of his medicine for a couple of hours. Your more immediate concern will be admitting that you accompanied me on this little trip, or figure out a way to cover it up.
Nicholas isn't the only person I'm worried about. Elizabeth just had her baby. She's still in critical condition. You remember Elizabeth, right?
Mm-hmm.
The pregnant nurse that you took such joy in tormenting at the Metro Court.
Yes, I do. Baby's breath, Elizabeth. Yes, I remember her well. Did she pop out a boy or a girl? Ah, Elizabeth, she was a veritable Madonna that night. Full of loving concern, that bundle that she was carrying. I was really surprised that you decided to keep Elizabeth in the lobby and booted your dying father out
Are you
instead.
really that empty inside? Are you that devoid of empathy or compassion? You killed my father just as surely as if you put a bullet in his head, and now you're trying to kill the man I love. Does a human being exist that actually matters to you?
natural for one sibling to come up in conversation, especially with another sibling.
Okay, so what were you telling Michael about Jerry? I hope you weren't singing his praises.
Oh, Jerry has his share of problems. No one knows that better than me, with the exception of maybe my mother. With one notable exception.
And that would be?
Well, I was about to tell Michael that when you walked in. Jerry's always been fiercely loyal and protective of me. If I ever found myself in over my head, he would move heaven and earth to help me. And that is a good quality to have in a big brother. And I'm hoping that Michael will be like that with Morgan.
He already is. And you make your mother very proud.
So, do I get points for that?
Points?
Yeah, because I really want to play with that stuff that you guys got me. So could you please possibly forget that I'm grounded?
I guess I could forget that you're grounded.
Thank you, Mom.
Only because we got that stuff on our honeymoon.
Thank you, Mom. You're the best.
I'm the best. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, and I'm sorry. I don't want you making Jerry out to be some hero to my kids.
I know it's hard seeing Elizabeth like this, but there's no need to worry. There's no way that Elizabeth is going to leave me and our children.
I need a word with you.
What's going on?
Elizabeth's latest test results are in. Unfortunately, there's been no improvement. There's no indication Elizabeth will come out of this.
So you're saying what? You're giving up hope?
I just want you and your family to prepare yourselves.
No.
I'm so sorry.
No! I won't accept this. I'm not going to lose my wife.
I also need to inform you, your son is healthy, but since you've been spending most of your time here at the hospital, you might want to make arrangements to send him home with someone else.
Absolutely not. My son is going to stay right here until his mother and father can take him home.
Oh, your timing's impeccable. I may need you as a witness.
This is pointless. I'm going live.
Barrett, get in here! See that computer? Morgan threw it at me, nearly took my head off. I want you to arrest him for assault right now.
Okay, let's just relax for a second. Nobody's getting arrested. Let's just discuss what happened.
Well, what you gonna do? You gonna threaten me to back off?
You want to have this conversation in front of your officers? That's up to you. It's no sweat off my back. You're the one that's going to be embarrassed.
Okay, fine. Let's wait outside. You want to talk? Talk.
Well, you have all the answers. I know you came here to provoke Jason. Why?
He needs to stay away from Elizabeth. And let's not all pretend we don't know why.
It's not in the baby's best interest to stay in the nursery indefinitely.
We're not talking indefinite. Elizabeth is going to wake up any minute, and if she can't hold her baby with her own arms or see him with her own eyes, she's going to think she had a miscarriage. What if that sends her into shock or something?
We could have the baby back here in no time flat.
I want him nearby. We all need each other right now.
Is that your final decision?
Yes.
Okay. We'll monitor your son closely. But I have to reiterate, rotating nurses are no substitute for family or for your son adapting to his permanent environment. Ideally, he should be bonding with his mother.
Well, that's not an option at this moment.
Which is why he should be home. At the very least.
Lucky, I can take care of him. And Bobby and Carly will help.
I know my wife. Elizabeth is going to wake up and need to see her son. And he's going to be right here, waiting for her.
Why is Jason's concern for Elizabeth any of your business?
She was my wife.
It's past tense. so-
Okay. Same goes for you and Carly. Does that mean you don't care about what happens to her? Elizabeth is fighting for her life. Jason doesn't need to be hanging around her hospital room.
Okay, I must have missed something. Jason, tell me what happened.
She had the baby, and afterwards there were complications. She's in critical condition.
Yes, which is
right
why
now.
you need to give her family breathing space. The only connection that you have with Elizabeth is a one-night stand that she is trying to get over. You hanging around her hospital room does not help her further that
You
goal.
made your
Jason.
point, Rick. Now, unless you want Diane,
to hold a press conference about your continuing abuse of power. Get your cops, get out of here now.
Listen to me for once in your life. Stay away from Elizabeth for her sake.
You were supposed to eliminate Alcazar.
I'm sorry, I was a little...
What?
I was a little busy with Elizabeth.
You gonna tell me what happened?
I stopped by the house, you know, maybe I had this feeling that something might have been wrong because of the storm and everything, and sure enough, I found Elizabeth passed out on the floor, bleeding, and I had to get her to the hospital. There was nobody else there, and then there was no time for Alcazar.
Nothing else? Because Rick was implying there might have been something else.
No, there's nothing.
Okay, look, you know, you're concerned about Elizabeth, so am I, but I need your focus. We're in a critical time right now, and Alcazar's had a lot of time to prepare for retaliation. We cannot give him a chance to put his action in motion. We need to take him down now. Now, if you can't do it because you're distracted,
I can do my job. Alcazar will be dead at the next possible opportunity.
Peace offering. I know you've been on calls all day, but I thought maybe you could take a break and have a few bites with me.
We're on speaking terms. I'm a little surprised.
Well, there's no reason to live in an armed camp. I didn't sleep last night, in case you wondered. I know you'd never let any harm come to Lila, but it's just that I've never been apart from her before.
I realize that.
Tossed and turned all night last night, trying to decide how I felt about you. Whether I hated you or empathized with you on some level.
What'd you come up with?
A lot of regret. Not just because you took my daughter away from me, but I took a really long look at my own actions. I saw how we broke that trust that we worked so hard to build. And I realized something last night. No matter what I said yesterday, I'd like to think that we could still be a team.
I had a rough night, too. Did some soul searching of my own.
There will always be this pull between us. Hear me? Whether I run away, whether we keep things from each other, it will always come back to this. I want to be with you. I need to be with you.
You know what? Not that I wouldn't love to sleep with you, Sky, but we need to be clear. Does not mean I will bring Lila Ray home.
Forgive me, but I didn't realize you had such antipathy for Jerry.
Look, I know that I don't have any right talking about someone else's family, but I have some major problems with your brother.
Well, maybe I better hear them.
I think he's selfish. He doesn't have a problem yanking you out of your own life when there's something going wrong with his. It doesn't matter what you're going through or that you might get killed trying to save him.
You know, Jerry and I have always depended on each other. Over the years, it's become a little distant. I realize that. But Jerry loves me. He would never intentionally be cavalier with my well-being.
Really? Are you sure about that? Because from where I'm sitting, all of his so-called emergencies seem to be perfectly planned. They seem to happen right when you're about to be happy with me. And you know what? I think he's trying to undermine our marriage. I'm sorry.
Maybe you're right. You know, I debated telling you this, but we shouldn't start off our marriage with a secret, so here goes. The reason Michael and I were talking was because Jerry was here.
Not gonna lie to you. I did harbor some hope that if you felt close to me, you might bring our daughter home. It's not the only reason I wanted to sleep with you, but it certainly was a big part of it. Lorenzo, this isn't natural. A daughter should not be separated from her mother.
More than anything, I want our daughter back in your arms.
Then why don't you?
Am I supposed to conveniently forget that you've been conspiring against me with Rick Lansing?
I was scared. I didn't know who I could trust.
Or maybe this is all an act, and you truly despise me. Maybe you're just biding time, waiting for an opportunity to take our daughter away from me. Or worse.
I made a mistake. I should think you, of all people, can understand that.
I understand this. There are a lot of reasons why you should resent me. The loss of your other family, for one.
Family that I have with you and Lila means far more to me than anything I ever had with the Quartermains. If I resented you or despised you, would I have walked away from everything that mattered the most to me? Would I have stood by you through all the setbacks that we had? Would I still be standing here after you've taken my daughter off to God knows where? Lorenzo, I had a moment of weakness. You deceived me and the bottom fell out. But that doesn't change what's in my heart. It'll always be connected to yours. I'm afraid it always will be. I am in it for the duration. Can't you see that? No matter what you do, no matter what I do, you are it for me. So the ball's in your court. I'm sure you will do best. What you think is best for us and our daughter. And I have faith that you will bring her home.
Jerry was here?
Apparently so.
Why didn't Jane say anything? Or Michael and Morgan?
They were sworn to secrecy. That's what Michael was telling me right before you walked in.
And that's okay with you? That an adult stranger, because that's what Jerry is to my boys, an adult stranger asked Michael and Morgan to keep his presence here a secret, and then Jane reinforces the lie, and that's okay with you?
Jerry's a special case.
Not to me. And not where my boys are concerned.
Hold on a second. You can't be suggesting that Jerry's a danger to Michael and Morgan.
Jerry's a loose cannon, and who knows what kind of baggage he's dragging around,
You know
Jack?
what? He might not be the best role model, but Jerry would never put children at risk, okay? And he wouldn't have come here unless he'd known it was safe.
Oh, yeah, because the Russian mafia always plays fair, doesn't it?
He's not a gangster, okay? My brother's not a gangster.
That's the problem. He's not one of their own. He's some expendable mercenary for hire, and I can't believe you don't see how wrong that is. And you know what? I can't believe you don't see what Jerry's presence here really means.
Well, I'm sure you're about to tell me.
Your brother is on a mission to ruin our marriage, and now he's using my boys, and that is not okay.
Don't tell me the honeymoon's over already.
Hey, got your message. What's wrong with the baby?
Nothing. Not yet. At least I hope not.
What are you talking about?
Look, the small stone cold one shouldn't be here. Okay, I overheard Dr. Lee with Lucky and Lulu, and she said that your son should be home by now. That being kept away from the people that love him is not good for his fragile little development. And see, Lucky thinks that if Elizabeth wakes up and she can't hold her baby right away, she might think that he died and flip out. Or she may even go back into her coma and not wake up. So I know he thinks he's doing the right thing, but he's kind of all tunnel visioned about Elizabeth, which I guess makes sense because according to Dr. Lee, she may not make
just
it.
one thing at a time, okay? Are you sure that you overheard Dr. Lee say that it was harmful to the baby to stay in the hospital?
They don't know if Elizabeth's gonna wake up, so it could be. The small Stone Cold one could be stuck here for weeks in that nursery before Lucky faces reality. And just think about it. Does this seem like a good long-term nesting place for a newborn? Living in a plastic bin? Seeing a different face at every shift change? Being held for just a few minutes at a time? This baby needs to bond with his parents. And his mom can't do it, and Lucky's distracted, so that leaves you. What are you gonna do?
Morgan's on a play date, and Michael has tutoring at 3, so you should call.
Actually, I'm here to see you. You forgot to sign these papers before you went to Fiji and did what you had to do.
Okay. I'll sign them, and I will get them back to you ASAP.
Is there everything's fine? Everything's fine?
Obviously, my wife and I are in the middle of a private discussion.
Obviously. Tell the boys I came by. And...
I hate lying to Sonny. I hate lying to him.
What lie?
I didn't tell him that Jerry was here, and if I had, he would freak out.
Oh, please. Sonny's more dangerous than Jerry could ever be.
Hey, I got here as fast as I could. What happened? We were finally able to isolate the counteragent.
We've determined the only way to save Nicholas is to give him a higher dose than he's been getting.
His pulse is racing. He could have a stroke. Why aren't you doing anything?
It's already been done.
The only thing we can do is wait, Emily. He's either gonna get better or he won't.
What? Am I supposed to just accept that?
I know this is difficult, but this is what Nicholas said he wanted.
We've gone over every contingency with him more than once in detail. He insisted on getting the injection.
Well, you should have waited. Patrick, how could you do something so drastic without giving me a chance to discuss it with him?
When Craig brought you into this mess, it put Nicholas over the edge. He's willing to risk anything to free you of this.
He loves you. He was just trying to protect you.
I need some more time with him.
I can't jump to any conclusions. Once I tell the truth, the life Elizabeth wanted for our child will be destroyed.
Isn't what's best for the baby the most important thing?
What are you doing back here?
He's with me. But how's Elizabeth's baby?
Honestly?
Yeah.
It's past time for that child to go home.
What? He was just born.
This is a time that babies bond with their parents, when their sense of identity and security are reinforced or not. Lucky visits as often as he can, but his focus is on his wife. He's scared to death that he's going to lose her. I realize that he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. But it's time for Lucky to start thinking like a father and do what's right for his child.
I don't enjoy saying negative things about your brother, who you have loved and adored your whole life. But you have a blind spot when it comes to Jerry, and that scares me. Do you even know if he's in the country legally, Jax?
He could be. I cut a deal for amnesty for Jerry years ago.
Yeah, of course you did.
Look, don't ask me to choose between you.
I would never put you in that position. You and Jerry are adults, and you guys get to support each other's choices, even when they're wrong. But as Michael and Morgan's mother, it's my job to protect them from people like Jerry.
What do you want me to do? I mean, I can't exactly get a hold of Jerry. He doesn't return my calls.
Call your mother. She's obviously in touch with him.
I will be calling my mother. You don't have to worry about that. Look, I'm sorry that Jerry showed up here without warning and played buddy with your kids, okay? And if I get the chance, I'll tell him that it's not okay. But Jerry's still my brother, okay? I'm not going to turn my back on him or bar him from my life.
Right, so this is the part where you tell me that you're leaving me again to go help your brother.
Milo told me you were here.
To buy gourmet coffee, of course.
Well, then you can go and get some. Ask Vinny, he'll get you some coffee.
Obviously, that was an excuse.
What can I do for you?
I'm aware that you plan to kill Lorenzo. Probably as soon as you can manage. I'm asking you not to.
I'm disappointed in you.
Excuse me?
Well, you always struck me as a kind of strong, confident, savvy lady, you know, in your face. I never pegged you as a type who would beg for the life of a scum like Alcazar after the way he used you. And here you are, wanting to protect him.
Let me assure you, I want Lorenzo dead. Just not until I find my daughter.
Lucky. Any change in Elizabeth's condition?
She's still unconscious. The nurse is with her.
How about the baby?
It's fine. They say it's not healthy for him to stay. But I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Probably what the doctor's saying. But for what it's worth, I think Elizabeth needs to have your son here. If she senses that he's not, she could slip away.
What makes you think so?
The same thing happened when Molly was born and Alexis was post-op. Parents can sense their children's presence even if they're not consciously taking them in. Listen, are you open to a suggestion?
I guess so.
You consult Dr. O'Donnell, okay? He's head of pediatrics here. He's a good man. He may be able to come up with a way for you to keep your child here and not jeopardize his emotional well-being. But even if they do make you take your son home, you do not lose hope. Okay? Elizabeth is going to get through this. She got a lot to live for.
You're still here?
Yeah, Stone Cold is naturally craving updates on this little bundle, so thusly I remain.
How is the baby?
He seems okay. But according to Nurse Epiphany, he might not be for long unless he's sent home to bond with his family.
Yeah, well, Lucky won't hear that, so he wants Elizabeth to wake up and have the baby here, so we need to make this as homey of an experience as possible for the baby.
Ah, with black leather onesies and a chrome.
No, the child is a Spencer Spinelli. So the Spencers are gonna rally and we're gonna take turns holding the baby and telling him stories about the family that he's been born into.
Light of my life, you know I hate disagreeing with you. But come on. The person that should be holding the baby right now is the real father.
No, Spinelli, that boat sailed a long time ago. Don't worry, I will tell Jason all the reasons why the baby's gonna be okay with us.
What's wrong?
I just realized how terrified I am.
I gave you my word that I would do what's best for our child. And now the doctors don't know when or if you're gonna wake up. And I don't wanna believe that you're dying. And I don't want to do or say something that's going to ruin what you have with Lucky, but they're telling me our son needs to go home.
You know how they say eavesdroppers never hear anything good? Well, sure enough, Lorenzo overheard me betray him to Rick.
Not a smart conversation you want to have under Alcazar's roof. And I'll tell you right now, if you're going to trust Rick...
I don't. But when I found out that Lorenzo had been faking his brain injury, putting me and my daughter at risk, I was so furious I couldn't see straight. I wanted him to pay. A fact that registered loud and clear, Lorenzo. And he took my daughter. I don't even know if she's in the country.
It doesn't surprise me. But I'm sorry about that. I know how it is to be separated from a kid.
Then you can understand how desperate I am to have her back. But Sonny, that may never happen if Lorenzo dies first. She may be given away to strangers, or I could lose her in any number of ways. So I am begging you, please, give me more time to convince Lorenzo that he can trust me, to persuade him to bring her home. And when that happens, I promise you, I will personally unlock that door for you to come in and do with him what you will. Well, here we go. It's right on time. Jerry's in trouble, so you have to go rescue him, don't you? It happened before, and we almost lost each other, and I don't want that to happen again. Stakes are higher. We're married, and that's supposed to come first for both of us.
Of course it does. Look, I love my brother, but I'm not leaving you to go after him or anyone else.
Do you promise?
I promise. I promise I will never let Jerry undermine our marriage, okay? I promise.
Lungs sound good. The heart rate is strong. Looks like the counteragent worked.
How long do we know if his recovery is permanent?
Well, we have a rush on the blood work. We'll also do another tox scan, but preliminary results show that there is no poison left in your system.
Thank you both so much. I'm so grateful you're okay, that you're safe.
Safe from what?
She could be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, what a cozy little gathering.
It's a celebration. Robin and I duplicated your counteragent.
Don't bother running. I'm calling security.
I can see by your muted reaction that MD's let you in on a little transaction. But the doctors are woefully clueless. So let me bring you up to speed. I've made our friend Emily an accomplice in treason and espionage. Had me arrested, and she goes down with me. Isn't that right, darling? Hmm?
I don't know what just happened.
Well, you said you were terrified.
No, that's not it. Not exactly. I've just scared myself with all the ways that I'm feeling. I don't regret terminating the pregnancy. I know that it was the right decision for me, but now seeing Elizabeth's baby and knowing that she made the other choice and this child is here now in the world, I don't know, it makes me feel shallow and empty.
Maybe you're seeing the small stone cold one as a symbol and not actually a real person, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, try to take what happened to you out of the equation. You know, and you just think of him as this little creature that needs to get to know you. That wants to feel your awesome love.
Okay.
What now?
The Jackal begs permission to accompany the fair blonde one on her visit to the awesome baby known as Spencer.
And they say too much time on the computer doesn't cause brain damage.
Okay, with all due respect to your formidable security instincts,
Look, stop talking. I don't want to hear your mouth running. I don't want to look on the visitors list and see your name forged there again. I will allow you to accompany Miss Spencer while she visits a nephew, but
Our deepest gratitude.
Stop talking. Or you can leave. Okay. Come on in.
Greetings, small stone cold one. You have a very special visitor. Yeah. She's supposed to be your aunt, but she's not actually.
Okay, don't listen to Spinelli. He likes me, means well, but he tends to talk too much.
Oh, here we go. Hi. Oh, look how little and perfect you are. Yeah. Doesn't matter how you label it. I'm in your life now. And I love you. And that's all that matters.
Our son needs you. You know, all this time, all these weeks and months, the only thing that ever made any sense to me was that no matter what else happened, our child would have you. So please, Elizabeth. Please, you have to wake up, please.
Jason? When did you get here?
No, I was just, checking on Elizabeth and the baby. And, the nurses are saying that the baby shouldn't stay in the nursery.
With all due respect, that's none of your business.
Lucky, it is my obligation to act in the baby's best interests.